Talking sports at work, at home. Ah!
Good job.
Alrighty, hello friends. Welcome into this special mock draft edition of Talking Sports at Work. I am your host, Eric Persley, and just a heads up, kids are home today. Well, at least two of them. Jack had a doctor's appointment. They are currently in the kitchen occupied. Let's hope that'll stay this way at least long enough for me to finish this video. I've got my headset in, so hopefully you won't be able to hear too much craziness in the background. But just to recap, here's what we had for our top 10 picks of the mock draft. We're going to do picks 11 through 20 today. Now, this is what I had pre-combine here. And since then, I've made a couple adjustments for a couple of reasons. One, because combine performances, although I don't think that should be such a big deal, I do think that it's relevant. But also just because of some changes I've had of heart, and because from there are a lot of Falcons fans around here. I took so much shit from them for trying to get Terrion Arnold. So and plus I do feel like maybe I should have gone a different way with that. So with that being said, I'm gonna show you the changes here. Now, first of all, the first change I made was here at number 5. I did have them. Who did I have them? Oh yeah, Dallas Turner. Now, I've changed that because I thought that the reason I had Dallas Turner is I really thought they were going to either trade or cut Khalil Mack. They have not done that yet. They still might. I think free agency starts Monday, so we'll see. But as of now, they still have not done that, and I haven't heard any talk about it. So I'm going to switch that up and give Jim Harbaugh a truly generational talent at the tight end position and Brock Bowers. I think that's his kind of player. It'd be the highest a tight end has gone in since I can remember. I know Kyle Pitts, I think, went in 6th last year. Bowers is better. Bowers is better than Pitts. Bowers is he's awesome. So yeah, that's the way I'm going there. The other change here was at number 8. I'm not a huge JJ McCarthy fan, but I got to say he was impressive at the combine, and all the trends and everything you're hearing, it sounds like he's just rising and rising and rising, and I get it. And the Falcons need a quarterback if they're going to do anything. They're not going anywhere with Desmond Ridder. Now, they are one of the main teams that it seems like are in play for Justin Fields. I think that's very much a thing. But I don't do mock trades because they're so impossible to predict, and nothing's happened yet on that front. So assuming, and trades will happen, but I'm not going to try to guess what's going to happen. So I'm just going to go with how the board currently is. I'm giving them JJ McCarthy. He does have potential. He's got all that you could want in terms of physical traits. He's apparently a good leader. He's clearly a champion and a winner. So, maybe it'll work out for him. And look, is 8 high for him? Yes, but he's a quarterback. They're always going to go high. And so with those changes, I had to adjust one more pick. That was the Chicago Bears. I did have them taking Brock Bowers. I've pretty much switched these two picks here. I had them taking Bowers at 9. Now I've got them taking, the best maybe defensive player, the best edge rusher in the draft. Now, you'll notice a trend here that I don't like, but this is just the way that it's worked out at the top of the draft. It seems like there's offense is the side of the ball that this year where most of the picks are going to go. All of these picks, the first 8 and 9 of the first 10 I have here are offensive. I don't know that it's going to play out that way, but that's the way I've got it. That's, just logically the way this stuff you would expect to go without trying to guess any trades. That's what we've got. So anyway, moving on. Here's the next 11 picks. First on the clock are the Minnesota Vikings. Now, I'm going to be looking at my phone a little bit through this as well, because I'll be honest, I don't know all the draft needs and everything right off the top of my head for 32 teams in the league. So I'm going to have this here. Now, obviously, they're, going to have a need at quarterback in the post-Kirk Cousins era, but it's not starting yet. I think they're going to re-sign him. They may have already. No, I don't think yet. But they plan to extend him, I believe, at least for another year and try to keep him around. So and plus, you've got 4 quarterbacks already going. I'm not giving them a quarterback. So I've got him taking there are 3 guys who might be the best edge rusher in this draft. It's Dallas Turner, it's Jared Verse, and it's Latu. And excuse me, I think, if the Vikings are sitting there where they are and they see maybe the best defensive player in the draft, maybe at a premium position, sitting there at number 11, I think they'll be happy, especially given the fact that Danielle Hunter's probably not going to be there after this year. That's going to be a good pick for them. And I'm going to try to move fast because, again, kids are here. I've got a lot going on. And plus, I just don't want these videos to take forever. I know people get bored listening to me. So, moving on. Here's an interesting one. At number 12, the Broncos taking Bo Nix. I'm also not a huge Bo Nix fan, but Sean Payton, we know, has that reputation as being sort of a quarterback guru, and, maybe he can work some magic with him. Bo Nix is not going to wow you with his arm. He's not going to really wow you with any traits, but he's a winner. He's a leader, and he's good enough. And the thing, I remember just one little quick aside, because it's one of my favorite things I've ever heard from a sports guy. I heard on I guess it was back on Fox coverage, a game on Fox, and it was Troy Aikman talking about rookie quarterbacks, and he said, it drives me nuts when people are evaluating these quarterbacks and they say, oh, he's a guy who can make all the throws. Everybody can make all the throws. They wouldn't be an NFL prospect if they couldn't make all the throws. That's not what you're trying to look at here. So that's just always stuck out to me. And he went on to talk about what you're looking at is accuracy. How quickly do they process things? Ball placement, decision making, athleticism to some degree. But, everybody's got a good enough arm if they are being considered as an NFL prospect. And Bo Nix included in that. So, the Broncos are desperate for a quarterback. I imagine they'll probably trade up, but again, we're not trying to predict that here. So I'm going to give them Bo Nix. What, buddy? I know you don't. Okay. All right, so at number 13, the Raiders need help at defensive back, and they find the best one on the board, another guy who has that potential, title for best defensive player on the board. What's up, buddy? Okay, thanks, buddy. Go back and finish your game, okay? So I can do this video real quick, and then we'll play. Okay, so given the Raiders a defensive back, which is a need for them, and you've got a great player sitting there at 13, I don't think that one needs to be explained too much. Now, the only thing you will say is they're another team that has a huge need at quarterback, but with these guys already off the board, Penix is not going to go that high, I don't think. They could still look to get him maybe in the second round. So I think they just go with the sensible pick here. And then at number 14, we've got the New Orleans Saints. And you got to think they would be thrilled if things shook out this way and get, the successor to, what's his name? Michael Thomas, maybe. Rome Odunze is a guy that some people are starting to say could rival Marvin Harrison Jr. as the best receiver in the class. I don't think so, but I do think he's really good. I actually think he's the third best receiver in the draft class, but I think he's a top 10 talent. And if he's sitting there at 14, I think they'd be thrilled to grab him. Now, 15, the Colts. Quinyon Mitchell, it's a need. He's a good player. I don't know what much to say. I mean, the Colts could go a lot of ways. This is one I wasn't really sure about, but I do think this makes sense. Byron Murphy's one I saw on some mock drafts, but I just don't think he's a fit. Let me pause for just 1 second. Okay, hey friends, back again. Sorry about that. So, had to distract the kids. So, we've got 15, Quinyon Mitchell. I don't know. He's Toledo. I've never watched Toledo play, but he's a good prospect from everything I've heard. It's a position of need. Byron Murphy, I just don't know that he makes sense. He's that nose tackle type. Also, Latu was one I considered here, but just feels like Mitchell's one that I think makes sense here. Now, moving to a team with two really good young DBs, and that's the Seattle Seahawks. They will, I think, would be very happy to find Byron Murphy there. He's a guy who's rising. He's a super athlete for his size. He's a massive man who's crazy athletic, and I think he's got a very bright future in the NFL. Probably the best interior defensive lineman on the board. And yeah, it just makes a ton of sense there. Now, moving on to Jacksonville at number 17. This is one I think they would be very happy if he's still sitting there at 17. The Jags need help on the offensive line. They're not quite as bad as the Titans, but no one else was. But they were pretty bad in terms of pass blocking last year. And if they're really, going to try to do anything, they have to protect Trevor Lawrence. So I think they've got a guy here who's versatile, who can really play either side. And I think they would be very, very happy to get him there at 17 and try to protect the future and the current and the everything for your franchise in Trevor Lawrence, who I still very much believe in if they can just protect him and give him what he needs. Now, on a similar note, very, very similar, J.C. Latham to the Cincinnati Bengals. They have tried, it feels like, for years now. Well, it has been for years now, to improve that offensive line through free agency in particular, through the draft a little bit, and it just has not really worked out for them. They have not been able to really solidify that offensive line in the way that they should, in the way that they've been trying to do. I mean, for as much effort and money and investment as they've put into it, they should have one of the best offensive lines in the league, but they keep missing on these guys. Now, Orlando Brown is going to be the guy. He's their left tackle. That's set. J.C. Latham is probably the best pure right tackle on the board, a guy who's already established on that side of the ball, was outstanding on that right side for Alabama. You know you're going to be getting a well-coached, fundamentally sound player there, and I think that's something that they could really need. And then if they want to maybe kick Jonah Mitchell inside or something, I don't know what or Jonah, whatever his name is, Jonah Williams, I think, also was an Alabama guy. They've got options for what they could do with him, but J.C. Latham and Orlando Brown, now you've got a very solid pair of tackles, hopefully, that you would think for the Bengals, and can protect their franchise that is Joe Burrow. Now, at 19, got Latu. I still don't know how to say his name, but he is considered by some to be the best edge rusher on the board, and if the Rams are sitting there at 19 and get the guy who's at a premium position, maybe the best player there, they got to be thrilled. Put him on the other side with Byron Murphy, who obviously I absolutely love, and I'm so thrilled that he's been playing well and really succeeded in the NFL. Honestly, I wasn't sure that he would. We know the story about him. He was a guy who worked at Dollar General for a while until he got an opportunity to play college football with the Vols and was excellent for us. And now he's made it to the league, and it was very, very good early on as a rookie for the Rams. And they've also got Kobe Turner up front, and Aaron Donald, who's still one of the most dominant players in the game. If you put this guy with those three, that is a fearsome front that they will have up there at least next year. And it's kind of the next generation that they are setting up for life after Aaron Donald as well. So I think this is a perfect pick for the Rams. And finally, every mock draft that I have looked at for the last, since the college football season ended at least, has the Pittsburgh Steelers taking a cornerback at number 20. So I'm going to stick with that, give them Nate Wiggins, who is the best corner on the board currently. And, Cooper DeJean's a guy who could go here, but, I don't know that much about him, and you got to be a little uncertain about a white cornerback. I mean, I know that maybe that's a racist thing, but it's just, it is what it is. And Nate Wiggins, they're kind of comparable, I think. So going with just what I've seen and what I've heard in terms of rankings and boards and everything, I'm going to give the Pittsburgh Steelers Nate Wiggins. Now, I've been promising that little face that you see popping up over there that he and I would play Madden together, so he's waiting on me. We're going to stop this video. Like this, subscribe, comment, give me your thoughts. Tell me what you think I got right. Tell me what you think I got wrong. I'd love to talk about it. And I'll see you guys again soon.